Alright, hello everybody on YouTube, this is the EpicGamingGuru, and this time I got a little bit of a different video for all of you guys because this is actually more or less of a serious topic of the possibility of Twitch shutting down. And based on the title, you guys know that I'm going to have to gather up a lot of information about this because this whole thing is absolutely crazy. So if you want to follow along about these discussions and everything else, I will put a link to every single article that describes the problems that Twitch has run into, and then on top of that, I'll go ahead and describe a lot of other problems that Twitch is running into as of recent years. It honestly doesn't surprise me one bit that Twitch would run into severe issues when it comes to corporate costs and let alone corporate losses, but I never thought it would be to this type of magnitude or how severe the situation actually was when it involved South Korea. The Twitch South Korean server loss is definitely some old news, more than 8 to 10 months old, but since I'm talking about Twitch as a whole throughout the entire year when it came to their losses, this is definitely one big one that I do need to talk about.
I am never going to financially recover from this.
This article, of course, comes out from the rest of the world, where they apparently talk about nothing but reporting global tech stories, so they're pretty accurate about the situation that happened there with Twitch in South Korea, and as well as Morgan Song being the actual writer. Yeah, let's just say I really don't like it, the fact that every time there's an article involved, there's nobody who actually puts the actual contributors or writer's name into it. So, with that being said, let's get straight to it. The first bulletin itself just describes that the services that Twitch provided to South Korea will be officially shutting down by 27th, but then the second portion says that the streamers in the country have struggled to use Korean rivals like Arifica, hope I'm saying that right, TV, or shit, how the hell do you pronounce that? Jesus. Not trying to make fun of the platform, but that is a really hard to pronounce name. Alright, well, in spite of me just nearly having a stroke just trying to pronounce Shizk, it's interesting to note that it appears that a lot of the streamers in Korea are having more trouble trying to use the actual streaming websites and software available to them in their country versus how it was when Twitch was around. And it seems that Twitch had a more simplified time working with Korea because the users were having an easy time using their platform. You would think that being successful enough in another country to the point where you had a platform that was basically more successful and easier to use compared to your competitors would be a good thing, but unfortunately for Twitch's case, that was certainly not, as well as what I'm going to discuss on the last third bulletin here. The last bulletin continues on to say that in 2016, South Korea instituted its underpaid network rules that have raised costs for video game streaming platforms, or in this case just regular video streaming platforms. Twitch says the rising costs made operations unsustainable. Okay, a lot to break down with just that alone. There's a lot of information there, but let's go ahead and try to break this down. So the thing that happened here with Korea is that not only do they have sender pays network rules, which raises the cost of the video streaming platforms, but the problem here in general is that streaming platforms alone as a business are unbelievably expensive. Like, we're talking nearly more than 2.5 mil, I would say, just to run Twitch's servers with the amount of accounts they have on there, that they have the data storage all the way through, and that includes all the past video VODs and whatever clips that a streamer has, plus any other important information of data that they have on there. So all that does add up, and this has to be stored within servers, and these servers can get absolutely ridiculously expensive depending on the platform. I can only imagine how much it would cost to run YouTube servers per month. Let me go ahead and get right back on the topic that involves South Korea, because there's more incidents and everything else that happened in between there that I still need to discuss here. I'll discuss the expenses with Twitch a little bit later on in this video. One very big important portion in the article that really caught my eye was how they were describing the issues of what happened with Twitch, especially when it came to viewership in South Korea. I had to highlight a lot of this section on here from the article because it is going to be a very important talking point later on in this video. Twitch gets nearly 300,000 daily viewers from South Korea, with the country's top streamers attracting millions of followers. So the funny thing is about that is that technically speaking, that could be done in just about any country. In South Korea, when it comes to streamers and especially esports, that's like one of the biggest countries in the world when it comes to esport players. Like, some of the best players in the world from a lot of different game genres are from South Korea. I don't think I have to really explain the importance of esports on any type of gaming live stream type of platform, especially when it comes to Twitch, YouTube, Kick, and just to name a very small amount of them, because esports are basically generally shown everywhere when they happen because it's usually just a yearly event. So the idea idea of Twitch losing it, especially in South Korea when it comes to advertisements through there for esports, it really did put a detriment on Twitch as a whole. One section of the article that I did find a little bit strange was that it mentions that although Twitch said it would work to help streamers move their communities, as the creators told the rest of the world, the company has offered little support with the transition. Okay, I need to talk about this a lot more in depth. I don't remember a single time that Twitch would ever say or ever do, as what this article has just stated, that they are willing to help any form of content creator or streamer move from their platform to somebody else's platform. The reason why I have extreme doubts about this simply is because why would Twitch, a corporate company that has a lot of competitors, and I mean a lot of competitors, I only mentioned another 3 of them in the previous parts of this video, why would they want to help any of their streamers or any of their content creators from their platform move to a competitor's platform? That is the part that I did not understand about this article, but it's interesting how they put that in there, because the only thing Twitch could really provide to help with the transition is to basically just copy and paste whatever your branded stream was and just move on to a different platform. That would be the only quintessential way I would think that Twitch would be willing to help in any way, shape, or form on this. And even then, that's just technically the streamer just copying and pasting whatever they had on Twitch and just moving on to somewhere else. That's not a very uncommon thing to happen when it comes to Twitch. One last section that I want to talk about within this article in this paragraph is the fact that it says, while Twitch alternatives exist, relocating to another platform is a complex, laborious process that involves learning the ropes of a new online space while losing existing followers along the way. Okay, so let me go ahead and break that down a bit. First off, it's always been difficult to ever move on to a separate platform. That's how it is with basically any platform in existence. It's not just based on Twitch. Moving on to any other platform, especially right now, the way things are, is rather difficult. Don't even get me started with the difficulty on that. There are so many people that have tried moving on to Twitch to say like maybe YouTube and tried to basically keep the same savage type demeanor they had, or maybe their content was a lot more, I guess, not safe for work based is the best way to describe it, as it was on Twitch. So you're kind of already got the mentality of Twitch and putting that onto other separate platforms. Of course, when it comes to, like, let's say YouTube, when it comes to live streaming, depending on the circumstance, YouTube will immediately just age restrict your previous VOD in an instant. Of course, again, that's just one example. There's plenty of others with different TOS, different rules, different everything, community guidelines. Like, every platform functions differently. So based on that section of the article, I do have to agree that it does get ridiculous trying to move on through separate platforms, but that's just how it is. Every business is going to be different regardless of what you're trying to live stream on. One last section of the article that I noticed that was kind of interesting, which would be the last portion of this article that I'm going to talk about, even though despite of it being an interesting read, I would definitely recommend checking it out, is the portion where it says, even though they did not shut down immediately after the announcement, the whole process still feels very rushed, said Jang. It seems very irresponsible and unprofessional of them not giving technical solutions or any other support for transitioning. Despite what Jane has believed and said here, the problem I see here is that, again, my point is still going to stand. Why would Twitch, that is a giant competitive live streaming business platform, going to try to aid their streamers or their content creators on their platform onto a different site or a different platform altogether? It doesn't help Twitch in any way, shape, or form, because they're going to try to help transition somebody towards their competitors? Why would they be obligated to do that? It doesn't sound right in any way, shape, or form. But the thing that is true that Twitch is wrong here, and is definitely beyond the word wrong, like they are just straight up burning themselves on the stake here, is the fact that they did say and promise that they are going to help their streamers or content creators, or it could be both. I'm just saying you could be both a content creator and streamer. That's technically what most of us are nowadays. Why are they going to help any form of content creator or streamer move on to a different platform? That's the thing I did not get. And the thing I also don't understand is, why would Twitch even promise that, knowing that that is not even something they ever did in the past? That's the one thing I don't understand about this whole article. I don't get why Twitch would make such a false promise, knowing how they are and how strict they are when it comes to businesses. I mean, for God's sakes, there used to be a time where if you were a partner or affiliate, you wouldn't even be able to transition to a different platform without basically getting your contract ruined by Twitch. And I'm not making this up. This is real. This was only about nearly 2 years ago when Twitch decided to allow streamers to be able to multi-stream onto different platforms. You would have to be an affiliate or partner at the time, which is why a lot of people that were partnered or affiliated even requested Twitch to just simply remove their contract because they knew that it was going to affect their viewership. And if you guys think that I'm done just because that was the entire article I basically described in one go, there's still a little bit more into it. So if you guys want to check it out, again, links in the description below. But that was only just a few sets of problems that Twitch has. There is still a lot more to cover, and I wish I was joking.
Dear God.
There's more.
No.
Despite the entire South Korean incident, that is not the only problems that have occurred on Twitch. There is still a lot more to cover here, and it has a lot more to do with what I would probably declare as some of the most useless features I've ever seen on a platform. Twitch has this unbelievable audacity to change things that don't really need to be changed, and then add things that don't really have to be added. A good prime example of that would be Twitch Turbo. Twitch Turbo is honestly something that I wish was just completely abolished from Twitch. It really does not help the platform or their streamers involved or anybody else on there in general. Twitch Turbo was trying to achieve everything that Prime Gaming was, which is basically an Amazon Prime subscription, and added a lot less incentives to even have it. The thing that I find really dumb about Twitch Turbo is that it's basically the concept of you're paying more for less. Twitch Turbo does not even come with Prime Gaming, so you really don't have that much of an incentive to actually even buy it to begin with. So let me go ahead and ask you guys something, a very good and personal question. Would you rather pay for Prime Gaming, which not only costs less per year, but offers even more add-ons and video games to be able to have for free onto your PC or whatever you're playing on? Sometimes they'll even have a console-based variant for the code itself, which is kind of cool. And again, that's already a huge incentive. Or would you rather pay more for less stuff to get as a viewer? It's really dumb now, isn't it, when you think about it? Like, why would you pay more for less? Twitch Turbo isn't even the only bad feature that Twitch has, because it's just mainly one of those features that was mainly added onto Twitch in order for them to be able to try to make at least a little bit more money off their platform. I can understand to a certain extent that Twitch is a giant business, and so is Amazon, but come on guys, like this, there's no incentive into buying into Twitch Turbo. I just don't see it. I'm pretty sure a lot of other people immediately just rolled their eyes and didn't even bother looking at it after realizing that there really isn't a point of having it to begin with. Although Twitch Turbo is completely useless and doesn't really serve much of, well, anything, and doesn't even achieve what it's trying to do, the other thing that I find kind of ridiculous is that that's not even the most annoying feature that Twitch even has. One of the most recent and annoying features that was added had to have been the knock feature. And just talking about this is unbelievably getting my blood to boil, because it is such a useless feature that it died off within less than a month, and I rarely see any streamer even using this to begin with. So let me go ahead and talk about what the knock feature is supposed to do, what it's supposed to achieve, and why nobody's basically using it anymore. The knock feature on Twitch was basically a forced concept of getting people to stream together, even if you're completely brand new or strangers to Twitch itself, or if you're just a completely random streamer who's trying to basically force your way into somebody else's stream. You could basically do that with the knock feature, because when it was first implemented, there wasn't really any way of knowing how to shut it off, and Twitch does have a bad habit of implementing features that don't really come up with a very good explanation or a setting base to be able to mess with it. It took a while for people to even realize how to turn off the knock feature, and by the time they did, it did a lot of damages to a lot of people's streams and their communities as a whole. To understand how annoying the knock feature was, imagine trying to live stream any game, whether you're in a solo based lobby, multiplayer, or whatever type of genre you're playing, and somebody just immediately goes on your stream, presses the little knock purple button just for you to receive an obnoxious knock on your stream, and you have to either accept or decline their invite to allow them in. It was such a poorly implemented system, because of the fact that you could be streaming and you could just be hearing just annoying knocks left and right. And keep in mind that even if you decline one person, that does not mean that you're going to be able to decline the next and the next. You have to decline every single person that clicks that goddamn knock button. I have never heard of a more forced collab feature on any other platform aside from Twitch. And I've also never heard of a single goddamn feature where everyone hated it so much they wanted to figure out how to turn it off, in less than a week. That is a crowned achievement in itself. The weird part is, even mentioning all this, it feels so strange knowing that I've already talked about a useless paid feature and a useless free feature that basically damn well cost everybody not to enjoy the platform. And the scary part is about this video is that those are only two really bad features that Twitch has added. I haven't even talked about the good features they took away. You may want to sit back because this is quite a bit. Like I said at the very beginning of this segment of the video, I did mention that Twitch has also taken away really good features, and I was not being sarcastic about that. These are some of the features that Twitch has taken away. Even up to this day, I question why in the world you would take away something that actually brought in more viewership and actually helped streamers and as well as the platform as a whole. But you know, I'm not the boss. I'm not the one who makes the rules. These are basically going to be all the features that were great that Twitch took away. Even if some weren't really used that much during their time, if they were brought back, they would probably be used by a lot of different streamers. So let's go ahead and go down this list. One of the biggest features that Twitch lost, and not only was it a feature, but an entire channel category, was Twitch watch parties. Now, Twitch watch parties doesn't sound like an amazing feature, or anybody would ever think that it would sound like an amazing feature, but in reality, no. Twitch watch parties was one of the best things Twitch could have offered, and not only was it good, but it also caused a lot of people to subscribe to Twitch Prime just for the sake of having watch party. Watch party was basically designed so people could be able to watch Amazon Prime shows and movies without the risk of being banned on Twitch as long as you were under the watch party category. Now, what I just explained there sounds completely made up. Why would Twitch, let alone Amazon, allow any of their streaming services to be allowed on Twitch for free? Well, if you believe it or not, that was real. You can even still go on Twitch and go onto their website, look up watch parties. The category is still there. There's obviously no views or anybody streaming under watch party anymore because it was completely removed. I'll get to that in a bit. But the thing that I find kind of crazy and ridiculous is that yeah, that was a legitimate feature. That wasn't even something that was made up. Watch parties was a legitimate thing on Twitch. But as I stated before, like many good features that Twitch has, it unfortunately did bit the dust. And the thing I find kind of hilarious is that it bit the dust the exact year that things are going even further down the drain on Twitch. It was literally closed around April 2024 of this year. Now, the funny thing is that I wouldn't be so upset about this if it wasn't for the fact that I read the bottom section of that as well, where it even states right immediately under it that we launched watch parties in 2020 to offer streamers a way to enjoy Prime Video content with their communities, which is a big deal. While some streamers incorporated watch parties into their streams, usage of watch parties on Twitch has declined over the years. I extremely doubt that. So we are removing it and investing these resources in other features. Oh, you mean the useless features on Twitch? Oh, okay, all right. That sounds like a great idea. The one thing that I absolutely hate about Twitch is the dishonesty here. Watch parties wasn't removed because it wasn't a good category. That is the biggest lie I've ever seen Twitch pull out of their ass. Like, I have to be 100% honest. It's literally like Pinocchio shoved his face up my ass and couldn't stop lying. That's basically what Twitch does to everybody on that just streams on their platform right now. It's just completely bullshit of what's happening here with this. It doesn't make sense as to why Twitch would kill off an entire category based on what it's saying here, because it's very transparent about what it's trying to explain. So the only possible theory that I could come up with that is that Amazon was simply just not making enough money compared to people basically watching free movies and TV shows off somebody's channel. Now, I would have understood they would have just been very blunt and just said that instead of saying like, oh, okay, well, we're just discontinuing it because nobody was really interested in it. The watch parties category was one of the biggest categories I saw on Twitch. There was a lot of people who were using the watch parties category. And if that was the case, that it wasn't actually doing a very good job, then why didn't Twitch make a huge announcement saying that they were shutting it down? This was actually a suppressed announcement that Twitch barely brings up, and not to mention they were being very silent about shutting down watch parties. They didn't make it a huge announcement at all that the entire category was shutting down. They just simply don't want to admit that they were losing money off of having watch parties. I don't understand why Twitch or Amazon are like that, but that is the only possibility I could think of as to why watch parties would be generally removed. I'm only going to talk about two other great features that Twitch has removed. That way this video is not overly extended because I'm going way over 20 minutes at this rate. But one of the greatest features that Twitch has removed was honestly host mode. Host mode was one of the main reasons I loved Twitch. It was one of the biggest reasons why Twitch had such a growth rate into it, because what host mode did was magical. Host mode basically allowed streamers to be able to host another person's channel as long as they were live. This was an amazing goddamn feature, and it was one of the biggest selling points for Twitch as well, because now you didn't even have to worry about your channel not being seen by somebody else if you were live streaming, because you had multiple people under different channels hosting yours, which was also very good to help and vice versa. It was basically a good way to grow a community as well as work with other streamers without having any form of negative effect. There really wasn't really a reason to remove host mode as far as I could tell. There was not even anything negative that people said about it. So I really did not understand why Twitch removed such a useful feature off their platform. Like, it was one of the main ways that people would grow their communities. You could make the debate that suggestive channels still do the same thing by simply having them available, and then once you're offline, they're also still being hosted on your channel. But the thing that I find really dumb about this is that you can't even be selective about it anymore. It's completely based on whoever's streaming it right now at the time, and that could be problematic as well, because if you were trying to host, like, let's say a channel that was helping yours, or your channel was barely growing, you can't even get Twitch to basically host that channel instead. You would have to raid into them first before you even get a chance to even do anything close to what host channel had, which is really annoying. Alright, so there's one last good feature that Twitch did remove that by far has to be the #1 best feature removed out of Twitch, which may seem insignificant, but no, it literally gave Twitch a name. It was the most unique feature that Twitch had compared to any other platform in existence that gave Twitch the spot on the map to begin with. And I'm talking about ads for bits. Yup. This was a legitimate feature. Everybody seems to have forgotten about it after the past 3 years, because it seems as though Twitch had a very good reasonable excuse to get rid of it, because watching ads and you got free bits as a viewer? You would think I'm a freaking psychopath. Imagine if YouTube did the same thing, where you were watching somebody for ads and then you had the choice of giving that ad revenue to the streamer based on the small percentage that you got from that ad revenue. Obviously, the streamer and or creator for either YouTube or Twitch, if I'm using them both as a prime example, would have to receive a certain percentage off the ad anyways. But the way it was done with ads for bits was goddamn bitchin'. That fucking feature was the #1 best feature I've ever seen on Twitch, and I'm going to explain why. Despite the fact that the ads for bits was an abusable system, it was the main thing that gave Twitch a spot on the map, because no other platform had anything even close to what Twitch had for ads for bits. Ads for bits was such a well implemented system that everybody that I knew that was on Twitch at the time was especially using it to be able to try to get as much possible profit revenue off it by telling their viewers to basically watch the ads for them if they want to support them any further, to at least help them out a bit as they're live streaming. It was such a well thought out system that I really did not understand why in the world it was removed, until I started to notice that people were starting to make multiple accounts in order to be able to receive more bits from the ads and then basically launder the money back into their main account. The funny thing is about that is that that is very preventable. I don't understand why Twitch doesn't just come up with a security system in place to ensure that people are not going to abuse the ads for bits system. But instead of coming up with a better system for it, they just decided to go ahead and remove the entire main point as to why people love Twitch to begin with, and then just not ever think about bringing ads for bits back ever again. And unfortunately, that one big important feature is not going to come back on Twitch. There has never been a sign that ads for bits will ever be making a return back on Twitch. And I get to a certain extent that it was an abusive system, but it's like, come on, Twitch, you guys made even billions at the time as I was making this video. Like, there is no reason for ads to bits to ever be removed off of Twitch. They could have just immediately put in a security system in place to ensure that it wouldn't be abused. But again, this is Twitch. It doesn't surprise me that bad ideas flow around with them, and getting rid of good ideas is never something uncommon with them. Alright, this video is already long enough, but there's still 2 other important things that I want to throw out here when it came to Twitch, and this is insane. I don't even understand how Twitch is even going to survive 2025 at this rate. Like, I first gave them a little bit of a disbelief that maybe there's a chance that Twitch would be able to recuperate itself, and maybe, just maybe, probably hopefully, even if it's a slim bit of hope, survive 2025. But at this rate, I insanely doubt that. And I'm about to talk about two of the main things that are about to kill Twitch by 2025, basically almost guaranteed. I'm going to say almost guaranteed because they're going to have to pull some sort of goddamn fucking unicorn out of their ass to grant them wishes at this point. So the first topic I'm going to talk about is Prime Gaming. Yes, your Prime Gaming is about to be affected by 2025. So let me go ahead and break that down for you. If you were subscribed to Amazon because of Prime Gaming and that was the main reason and incentive to make you want to keep subscribed, well, that incentive is very likely to go away by 2025. The thing that's been happening with Amazon recently is that they've been shutting down a lot of contracts. And I thought at first that these contracts were going to be a lot more severe, but unfortunately, they were not just severe, they were critical. Amazon, in fact, recently shut down a contract with Riot Games around March of 2024. Why the hell is 2024 like seriously the year that Twitch and Amazon are making some of the worst decisions I've ever seen in the goddamn platform? But anyways, yes, Amazon and Twitch have decided to completely shut down their contract with Riot Games, which means that any form of add-on purchases that you could have gotten for free through Prime Gaming that involves either League of Legends or Valorant will no longer happen for basically ever. You're never going to be able to get any form of add-on content for League of Legends or Valorant ever again. But that is not the only thing that sounds concerning about this, because this would be the first time I ever seen Amazon and Twitch discontinue a contract with any game publisher or any game developers, which is pretty disconcerting because of the fact that this was one of the main reasons Prime Gaming even existed. If they keep shutting down massive contracts with game publishers or game developers, it's going to cause the platform to lose a major incentive, and Prime Gaming was one of the biggest incentives as to why people even had a Prime subscription to begin with Amazon. Alright, I'm down to the final point of this video, and that is going to be possibly the biggest breakpoint for a lot of people not to want to stream on Twitch, which again, all opinions are subjective. Everything else that I talked about in this video is subjective, despite the fact that it does have a lot of truth behind it. But the one final thing that I'm going to talk about here is the useless Twitch partner program. As much as streamers would have loved to be able to reach partnership after reaching affiliation on Twitch, what if I told you that there's literally no difference between the two, and you've basically just been working yourself to death in order to receive something that is pointless? Doesn't feel good, does it? Well, that's what I'm about to break down for you. There was a point where being a Twitch partner actually did feel rewarding, and it gave you a lot of incentives to want to even reach it. Those incentives have slowly died off because the only thing that's really beneficial about being a Twitch partner is being able to join a team or even create a team. That's literally it. There was no other incentives I could think of, especially now where being a Twitch partner benefits you on the entire platform. Even the ad revenue cut is practically the same. There is barely even a revenue cut at all when it comes to being a Twitch partner. You would still receive the same amount of ad revenue as you were an affiliate. You could also tell me that, hey, at least you get 50 extra emotes you can use as a partner. Like, oh great, the 50 emotes are definitely going to help with me trying to keep and retain my audience by telling them that I'll be able to give them a lot of free game IPs through Prime Gaming. Oh wait, that's right, they're closing their contracts. Yeah, you guys see the problem here, right? Even the most major streamers on Twitch are suffering highly because of how horrid the Twitch partner program has become. Like I said before, there was a point where if you were a Twitch partner or even affiliate, Twitch did not allow you to stream on multiple platforms. I'm glad that they learned their lesson on that, but there is no sign of them improving it beyond that. So with all of that being said, and based on what I said in the title, is Twitch really likely to shut down by 2025? Oh yeah, there is usually some hope with me when it comes to platforms in general. There is at least a little bit of a glimpse of me maybe saying like, okay, maybe if they improve this, maybe they improve that, they would be able to fix it. You know, like that there should be a way to fix something like this because, hey, it's a huge billion-dollar company with yet another million-dollar company. Like, what? How could they possibly go downhill this far? You'll be shocked and surprised of how many other things that Twitch has done to themselves as years went by. The amount of things that I could have talked about on this video that involves Twitch would have resulted in me having more than a 5-hour video, and if I were to go way far back, this would take me about 5 days to explain every little corruptive thing that's happening between Amazon and Twitch as to why the possibility of them shutting out in 2025 is highly guaranteed. I hope hope you all enjoyed this video. This has been EpicGamingGuru. Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed it that much. And please, by all means, go ahead and tell me what you thought about this video, and go ahead and give me your honest opinions about Twitch as a whole. I would love to hear what you all think about every little thing that's happened on Twitch, especially throughout this entire year, because it has been absolutely wild for that platform. So either way, hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next time.